Identify theme and summarize texts. The theme of a literary story is the central idea or subject that the author wants us to take away from it. It could be a message or a lesson that he or she wants us to learn. The theme is almost always implicit, so it's going to require us to make an inference to determine what it is. We will use the details within the text to provide us clues to help us determine the theme. Just a quick testing tip. Oftentimes we can determine the theme by simply looking at the title of the story. In some cases, that can provide us a major clue to help us determine what the author wants us to learn from the literary text. As a general rule, the theme will always focus on a big idea or belief about life. As stated before, the theme is almost always implicit. We will need to make an inference to determine what it is. Usually the author is going to develop it with plot elements such as setting, conflict, characterization, or he or she will use figurative language, imagery, point of view, and symbolism to help bring about the theme that we need to get from the story. When TABE testing, we may need to provide a summary of a literary text. Simply, the summary is a brief description of the key elements within the text. Unlike the theme, which is implicit, a summary is always explicit. We use the details that are stated within the story, and as a reader, we're simply going to retell the details. Writing a summary of a literary text is often a helpful tool to help us determine the theme of a particular story. So we can use that summary to lead us on the right direction to making an inference to the theme. The summary is short and to the point. Once again, it is explicit. We're only going to retell the most important details in the text. Typically, the summary is going to identify the main idea of the story, and we're going to use the details to help support the main idea. A summary will always follow a logical order. So we need to make sure that we are incorporating transitional words or elements to help us flesh out our summary. Let's take a moment and look at this example. Carla looked up at the sky, gray clouds hanging low over the city. A rumble of thunder echoed through the streets. She turned to her running partner, Leah. "We should probably pick up the pace," she said. Leah smiled. She never worried about anything. "Don't worry, Carla. We'll be fine, even if we get a little wet." As the women turned the corner, the sun began to peek through the clouds. "Look!" Carla exclaimed in astonishment. "There's a rainbow!" "See," Leah said. "I told you we'd be fine. No need to worry." As we consider this text, let's think for a moment about what is the theme that the author wants us to learn from this story. To help us determine the theme, there's some key points we need to remember. It's going to focus on a big idea or belief about life. So as we look for clues to the theme, we want to think about the setting and the characterization in this passage to lead us to make a good, solid inference on the theme. So pay attention to the imagery and what certain elements within the story symbolize. So based on what we know from the story, the theme is that it is important to have hope in the face of fear. The dark clouds and thunder represent Carla's fear. She tells her friend Leah that they should hurry. Leah tries to assure Carla that they will be fine. She smiles and tells Carla not to worry. In the end, the sun comes out and a rainbow appears. The rainbow symbolizes hope. So in this case, we have details within the story based on the setting. We have some symbolism based on details that we see within the setting that lead us to the conclusion that this theme deals specifically with hope in the face of fear. What will be a good summary of this passage? So we want to remember that it's short and to the point. We want to focus on the most important details and make sure that we follow the events in the order that they appear within the story. So based on that information, this would be an excellent summary of the story. Carla and Leah are jogging when a storm comes up. Carla is worried, but Leah is hopeful. Leah tells Carla that there is no need to worry, they will be fine. In the end, the sun comes out and Carla sees a rainbow. She realizes that everything is okay.